Hi guys, this is JoySparklebS. Sorry if my voice sounds funny. Like I said, I've been overusing it and I'm kind of losing it. So this might sound a bit scratchy, but it is 1:30 in the morning and I was trying to go to sleep and I got a notification on my phone. I don't know if you guys know who this is, but let me give you a little bit of background and backstory. There is a YouTuber called Metokur, and he's a very controversial YouTuber. But I'll tell you what, I like him. I do. In fact, on the old channel, there were a few times he was even critical of me. Let me back up and tell you about Mr. Metokur. He is a lot of people look at him as somebody who bullies and harasses. I have a lot of respect for him because even though there were times he was looking at me a little bit side-eyed and had some comments to say, I totally understand. Back in my old channel, when I was a lot sicker and all that stress was going on, I had a difficult time sometimes dealing with things. So wasn't upset with him, but I didn't know who he was until I started coming out with my story when it came to MrRepzoin, Nick Monroe, Mundane Matt, Based Mama, and that's when I had come across him for the guys on the Kumite. That's when I had learned about him. Apparently he had been interested in doing a video about me and he didn't, and I was like, oh my god, thank god. Because he looked into what was going on with me and realized, okay, I'm a weird fucking person who's done a couple weird things, but you know, I'm not this horrible asshole people are making me out to be. And he did a 3-part series on Based Mama and Kilroy that was amazing. Just absolutely wonderfully amazing. And I really appreciated him for raising the alarm about Based Mama because she's this horrible fucking scammer. And it's funny because Based Mama was one of the people that tried to get Metokur to go after me. Like, it's such a dumb little shit show of just conspiracy theory opping she and her people or whatever. So something really interesting has happened. It's like, where do I begin? So Metokur is like the world's biggest internet troll. But if you really sit and like you listen to what he has to say, he's really smart and he has many, many good points and he can't stand bullshit. He can't stand, you know, YouTuber fame whoring and all of that. And he calls shit out as it needs to be. He researches really well and does these really awesome videos. So I hope that gives you a little bit of backstory. He's been around for a really long time. He was part of Gamergate. I still don't know a lot about Gamergate, but he was like during the height of all of that. Him, Milo Yiannopoulos, funny enough, Mundane Matt. He missed the mark on that one back then. And he just recently did this awesome video. It had over 500,000 views called The Ballad of Mundane Matt. It's so fucking funny. It's hysterical. And it's calling Matt out for being the puss that he is. So things are getting really interesting. I'll tell you why I'm talking about this because, or what I'm about to tell you. What's happened is Mr. Metokur, who has like had over 250,000 subscribers, his Twitter got removed, and I think that had like 50,000 people on it. And so everybody's been talking about it today. Sucks. And he just went on the Ralph Retort to talk about it. During, like right after he got off, then all of a sudden his YouTube is removed. It's crazy. It's crazy, and nobody really knows what's going on, but a lot of people have been speculating, and there's some really, really interesting stuff. So it's just, there's a lot of suspect timing with what's going on around like the Mundane Matt flagging. So Mundane Matt's just come out as a flagger. You know, he won't apologize on YouTube, which we're gonna get. I have a video of his apology. It's just so many other things have happened. I haven't even put it up yet because we'll dissect his apology. But he hasn't recognized what he's done on YouTube, and people are still getting flagged. There's weird stuff going on surrounding Mundane Matt, right? But then you go to with the Metokur side. Here's what's interesting. Metokur, in his 3-part series about Based Mama, talked about the doxing server with a guy called Kraut. Now, I've never had any negative interaction with him. In fact, funny enough, I think I had gotten an invite to his server on Discord, which is where, you know, like, but I didn't have Discord. I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing back then. So I was like, all right. But he had actually reached out to me one day on Skype. So I don't really have any negative interaction with him. But he was apparently part of a doxing server, him, Based Mama, Jeff Holiday, Zeph, a bunch of other people. Now, here's what's really interesting. Kraut, this YouTuber, left. He like privated everything and took off and was, you know, almost gone for a year. I think it was like 8 months. And he came back today. And the timing of him coming back and saying he's going to expose the real truth of everything and that he didn't have a doxing server, the timing of that versus the timing of what's going on with Mr. Metokur's Twitter's going down, is really suspicious. On top of that, like I said, all of these skeptics, little skeptic community, and even if they're not really considered skeptics, like when they're all friends with each other, they all do these dumb ops and they all have one another's backs and defend one another as a result. So it's looking shadier and shadier and shadier, unfortunately. I will be watching Kraut and T stuff because here's the thing. I know what happened to me, and you know what? I'll be open. Okay, I'll be open to the evidence. But considering you had a server and there were so many screenshots and pics that came out of what was going on, and also considering Based Mama was in that server and we have evidence of the shit she did to me, I have a hard time trusting that there's going to be real evidence that comes out that suggests Kraut and his people are fucking innocent, because we know Based Mama isn't. We know 100%. Jeff Holiday, I don't know much about. I don't know much about the situation with him. In fact, he had always been nice to me, and I thought, we were on decent terms until recently, which I could talk about at some point. It's not really that big a deal, but, I've been really critical of everybody that attended Kilroy, and you guys have heard me say it repeatedly, the Kilroy event, really fucking critical, because everybody who attended, who was aware of what was going on, was complicit and helped profit off of the scam. But every time that Jeff's name has been brought up, I've said, and this is true, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know the extent of him and the doxing server or whatever, but he's always been nice to me, and I hope there's no negative shit. And it's interesting. So here's a story about how they all kind of butt buddy. I reached out to Jeff recently. Now, Jeff Holiday was on my, sorry, I'm jumping around a lot, but there's a lot of info to try to get through. Jeff Holiday was on my Onision debate. I asked him to be on, and he gained about 10,000 subs from that. He had a huge jump. It was like 5 or 10,000. It was a big jump. And I knew he would. Nice guy. I watched his content, liked him. So I was like, yeah, I knew I was like doing him a favor, right? So as I've come back, I reached out to him to talk to him about a possible sponsorship collaboration that I thought could be beneficial for both of us. And his response was like, it was polite, but it was like, hey, I wish you well, but considering, whatever you're trying to do, but considering what you've said about me, I think we're Splitsville. And I'm like, I didn't fucking say anything about you. So I wrote that to him. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything about you. What the hell? What are you, like, what's going on? No response. And you know what it is? Either he's just defending his butt buddies for Kilroy, or he's butthurt about the fact that I was critical of him and all the others who went to something that was clearly and obviously a scam. But I had never said a negative personal word about him specifically. You see how all this works? Like, they all protect each other. And it's really, really weird. And it's really unsettling because they all do this stupid stuff. Whether or not Jeff's a part of it, I don't know. But I was very unsettled because I was like, I asked him, I'm like, tell me, did I say something? If I said something directly about you, tell me and I will own up and apologize. Even if, and so I wrote him, I'll talk about this one day. Like, I'll go into detail about it. But I wrote him an email. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to put it here. And I wrote everything out. Similar to what I'm telling you guys. I'm like, I never had a personal problem with you. You've always been nice to me. However, this is how I felt about Kilroy. And I will always be open about that. And I don't know why any of them would be upset that anybody feels that way about Kilroy, because it was a scam. It was an absolute scam. And the one thing I've said is Jeff did act like an ass down there, but he'd always been nice to me before that. So it's weird. And funny enough, I talked to Tipster Gaming. We had talked about the skeptics. Go subscribe to Tipster Gaming if you haven't. He's been a wonderful friend. I was talking to him about this and kind of venting because I was so frustrated. He's like, you've got to understand that a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of these people just have these bruised fucking egos. And so, like, if you talk about Kilroy, they take it as a personal attack. I'm like, why? He's like, because ego. And he's right. He's absolutely right. So again, understand the level of people that we're dealing with and we're working with, right? So, sorry, I know that I've been rambling a little bit. Just wanted to give you some information, but let's get back to the main point. So Metokur's, Mr. Metokur, very, very popular. I really admire him. This is a guy that would just fucking, like, get a channel of, like, 500,000 subs and delete it and not give a shit and walk away. Because he doesn't really care about internet fame. And I admire that because that's what I did similar with my channel. Granted, we did it different reasons, but I was like, I'm not addicted to this fucking attention. I don't care. Attention for somebody like me is easy. I don't need to put myself on YouTube. That's why when I said I came back for the money. But what's happened with Metokur? So with Mr. Metokur, YouTube channel went down. First it was Twitter, And then like what, 12 hours later, his YouTube is down. And it's really weird. So let's take a look at some of the evidence surrounding it, because like I said, there's some really interesting stuff. So first on the Ralph retort, and they're still streaming, so I don't unfortunately, I can't put it up at the moment. Give me just a second. Come on. I try not to edit the sound clip because it's just easier, so my apologies, guys. Bear with me, because y'all know I'm a little bit tech retarded. I hate this. I hate that my voice is so scratchy. I need just like a couple days of silence, but I love making videos. I've been having so much fun. Okay, create something new. Why aren't you working? Here we go. No? Okay. So, Keemstar came on the Ralph retort, and he had a couple interesting pieces. Like, he basically said that he thinks Mundane Matt did it. And here's the tweet. It says, I know you did this, Mundane Matt. And when he came on the Ralph retort, he was trying to explain, like, you know, I've been able to help, like, myself. He's like, I can get my, like, if I need to, I have contacts to get my Twitter back, but I've been very unsuccessful to help other people get their Twitters back, because Keemstar was trying to help him. There's a lot of speculation that it's Mundane Matt with all the flagging stuff that just came out, and the fact that people are still getting flagged. Very, I don't know, it's very, very suspect, is what I would say. And I wouldn't put anything past Matt. But here's the interesting part. So this is what Metokur had put up right when his Twitter had gotten deleted. So let me pull this up and let me read this to you guys. So you can see it. And this is what we're looking at right now. This is Mr. Metokur's Facebook page. And so it says, what a coincidence. Mr. Metokur, you see that he gets banned, and then Kraut comes back, and it says before 1 o'clock, account goes down. After 1 o'clock, Kraut returns. Almonds are activating as Noggins go shopping. It is. And the fact that they're all butt buddies, you know, of Mundane Matt, the Skeptics, Kraut and T, Jeff Holiday, and that a lot of them were in that fucking server. I don't know if Mundane Matt was in the server. That's something I have to look up. I don't know, it's very suspect. There are a couple things, like, because I saw the Kraut video, a couple things I thought were interesting in it. In the Kraut video, he had said stuff like it was just a place for all these people in their fields to come together and talk about stuff, and like showed some video of a scientist talking, and I'm like, yeah, but you called Based Mom a psychologist, and she's clearly not a fucking psychologist, she's a nothing. So I don't know, I have a hard time believing what he's saying, because it's like you had so many other people in there doing other shit that wasn't the case. Not at all. So here's more interesting stuff. He says, my YouTube account has been terminated even though I only have 2 strikes. Weird. Especially strange due to the fact that the second strike listed was on a video that didn't violate the website policy, unless Google is saying that making fun of a spree killer is not allowed. This follows right after the termination of my Twitter account. Strange it all happened when Kraut comes back and all his little friends are cheering it on. At this point, it's obvious somebody is gaming the system to try to fuck with me. This reeks of an alog. I don't know what an alog is, let me be really honest. So then he shows the strikes and stuff. So let's look at this. It says, I don't know what TGWTG, I don't know what that is, but it says episode and compilation that's gotten a strike. And that, it was harassment and bullying. And then David Katz, there's in a video, the esports e-bitch. Now, this is pertaining to the guy that shot and this is where it sucks. I'm gonna rant for a second about YouTube in a minute. This is the guy that shot somebody recently at that gaming convention when they were all gaming. And Mr. Metokur, looks like, did a video probably making fun of him because it's stupid. And so it's been banned, and it says, or he got a strike. So he'd only had 2 strikes, right? He'd only had 2. And it said violation of YouTube's policy on spam and deceptive practices. If you're making fun of a guy that went and killed somebody in a really shitty way, I don't understand if that's spam or deceptive practices. And here you can see 13 hours ago he put out this video about David Katz. Now, I will say this because it happened on my other channel, so this is where I'm gonna get like a little bit heated. So you can say what you want about Metokur. Like, I could sit here and be butthurt that Metokur had made some comments about me, and that Metokur, you know, that people had said he was possibly gonna do a video on me. The thing is, he's smart, and he does his research on shit, and he makes sure he knows what's going after and why. And I'm not upset, because so much shit back then with, you know, with my health and with everything going on looked so weird. But here's the thing. He has a right to say what he wants. He has a right. I haven't flagged all the videos of people talking shit about me And because they have a right. Even if it's awful, they have a right to say shit. Now, if I want to take it a step further because it's slander or hurts my career, hurts my money, yeah, I can do that, no problem. I can do that all day, every day. If I want to go after somebody legally, if I had the money, the means, all of that together. So, but these little pussies can't handle an ounce of criticism. And here's where I get really irritated with YouTube. On my last channel, I didn't realize I'd covered the Las Vegas shooter and how awful it was. And immediately my whole channel got demonetized. Remember the Las Vegas shooting that happened last year? And I was like, what the hell? And this is when we didn't know this, but YouTube then started rolling out, you can't cover any news topics or any violence or any blah, 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 whatever. You're not allowed to cover that. And I was just like, well, why? Because this is the thing that's so hypocritical about YouTube. You'll see that. And then on the flip side, you see the news channels, like the main news channels, live streaming and putting up videos of whatever news that they want. And I think their angle is, like, I've read this, that they're trying to crack down on fake news. And it's just like, it's horseshit, because the news we're fed, we don't know what's real, because it's all owned by it's all owned by like 5 companies. It's all a monopoly. So that's why you need alternative news. Even if some of it's shit, you need that other side. You need other opinions and perspectives, because we know we're getting lied to by the big stuff. That when you turn on the TV, you're getting lied to. That's why people flock to YouTube. And so it's very, very frustrating for me to see this happen to Metokur. Because he has a right. He has a right to be there. Alex Jones has a right to be there. You can disagree all you want with what they say. You can disagree all you want with their, whatever the fuck. But they still have a right. And if they overstep the line, then let the legal process handle it. Unless there's really big infractions. But I don't see that from Jim. And I, like I said, I think everybody deserves free speech. And I think this is frustrating and it's scary, because we're getting dangerously close to losing our free speech. We really are. Like, I'll tell y'all, and I'll talk about this later. I don't like talking politics in the sense of, I don't like bashing one side or the other, because I think all of politics is fucking retarded. But it seems like there typically is a side that is a little bit more on the side of righteousness from time to time. They kind of, politics swings like a pendulum back and forth, in my opinion. So, for instance, when I was growing up, I was a hardcore liberal. But what I mean by that is, I grew up in a very conservative area where I said I think gay people should be allowed to marry and they're not evil, and I was fucking Satan. But that's the stuff I was fighting for. I was always a huge LGBT, rights activist. I don't know if activist is the word, but like a, supporter, I'd say. And I still am. I still absolutely am. But the left has gone fucking crazy. They've gone crazy. And it's all in the name of not offending awful, stupid people that people can't speak. You can't have debate. You can't have discourse. You can't have an argument. You can't offend people that sometimes, look like they have fucking mental illness. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, this SJW crap. And it feels like we hear less and less about the SJWs, and now that's transitioned into, Antifa. And as you go further and further, it's transitioned to what we're seeing right now, which is all of this just complete political discourse and unrest and I don't know, it's just scary. It's scary watching free speech go down the tubes on the internet. And I think something needs to be done. I can't tell you what, I'm not that fucking smart. I can sit here and draw attention to something and complain, but I don't know, I can't tell you I know what the answer is. I would say that don't fucking, don't take people's freedom of speech away. Don't ban people on the internet. Don't ban people on YouTube and Twitter and Apple and all these platforms. But here's the problem. They are privately owned companies. Technically, they can do whatever the fuck they want. And that's the scary part. Is because they're such a big part of our daily lives, and they have so much control over who gets to say what. And it's very, very frustrating. So it sucks. It really, really sucks. It's funny, before I knew who Metokur was, I didn't know he had an interest in me. And once I realized who he was and saw that he had been following me and, commenting, and he didn't like me that much or whatever, I got scared when I realized his following. I was like, holy shit. But Metokur, goes after people who deserve it. People like Mundane Matt, who go around and fuck with people's ability to make money and scream how he needs more money. And those people deserve to be exposed. So, that's my take on it. I will update you guys as I know more. Again, I'll give you some insight. Mr. Metokur, his YouTube and Twitter is gone. He still has a Facebook page, so if you like Metokur, you can go see his Facebook page. And the culprits seem to be, there's a lot of swirling around between Mundane Matt and Kraut and T. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past any of them, any of these motherfuckers. They're dirty people and they should be exposed. They really should. And I will do my best to continue to expose these people who do these stupid, shitty behaviors, because it's not okay. It's not okay in my opinion. So this has been JoySparklebS. Continue to be blessing yourselves and blessing others. Continue to try to find the joy and the sparkles of bullshit in the world. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Oh, if you like this, I forget this every time. Please give a like. Please subscribe. Please comment. I'm on Twitter at JoySparklebS. On Younow, JoySparklebS. Okay, bye guys.